Hey, what's going on everybody, and I have with me a new toy, the LG Watch Urbane, along with a slight comparison to the Moto 360, two of the best looking smartwatches on the market. Let's take a closer look. LG's third Android Wear smartwatch. Android Wear is the software that runs on this watch and many other smartwatches out there. And it's compatible with any Android phone running Android 4.3 and above. Unlike other watches such as the Galaxy Gear S, where you need a Galaxy phone, or the Apple Watch, where you need an iPhone. You have real genuine leather on the strap with a nice tan stitching, stainless steel gold-plated face, as well as the buckle. Although it's not real gold, it still looks absolutely beautiful, especially when light hits it. For those who are familiar, the LG Urbane is similar to the Moto 360 and pretty much any other smartwatch running Android Wear in almost every way, with your swipe navigation interface, your apps, and your settings. Except we have a few features exclusive to this watch only. This watch has a 410 mAh battery, a heart rate monitor for taking your heartbeat, a pedometer for tracking your steps, and you have Google Fit to integrate both. And like the Moto 360, it's certified IP67 water resistant, but don't go jumping in the pool with this. It comes with a magnetic charger, which charges pretty fast. I mean, it's a small battery. This watch has a 22mm band. It feels premium on your wrist, and it looks premium as well. You will most likely get compliments wearing this out in public. And this watch also has an LTE version, which is a little more expensive. If you really wanted to, you could swap the bands because the Moto 360 uses a 22mm band as well, with its own option of bands to choose from. For those who aren't familiar with Android Wear, it's basically a mini Android on your wrist that mirrors notifications from your phone on your watch, and compatible apps on your smartphone appears on your wrist. For example, I can even place recent orders from Domino's straight from my wrist. Plenty of apps have Android Wear support on the Google Play Store, so feel free to explore the tons of options. Pairing the watch for the first time took a little long, although that's the same thing I experienced with the Moto 360 and my Galaxy Gear S when I first got it. It seems to be a Bluetooth connection thing. It's just not as fast as other wireless technologies. So now for the new features. This watch has a feature called Gestures, which by enabling, you have the ability to scroll between notifications by a flick of the wrist, upward and downward. You can now draw emojis when composing a text message or replying to one. By simply drawing a shape, Android Wear will then analyze it and give you the most appropriate emoji for that drawing. You can also enable a lock screen on your smartwatch, just like you would on your Android phone, which is something we haven't seen in any other Android Wear smartwatch. It's pretty cool because you can enable this feature to lock the watch every time you take it off your wrists. This watch now has built-in Wi-Fi for more reliable service at home, but I didn't see the need for it, so I leave Wi-Fi off. Though for some it'll be a different story. Voice recognition is on point. It's really fast and accurate when I'm dictating a message or doing a Google search. You can double tap the watch face to get to your settings. Although it's not much faster than just swiping in from the right, it's still one more way to access your settings. I also found the LG Watch Urbane to be a slight bit faster over the Moto 360 when navigating throughout the watch. I kind of like how if you swipe to the side, there's this cool little 3-dot animation. It's very subtle, but it's pleasing to look at when you're using the watch. The layout of the settings is a bit different compared to the Moto 360. All the familiar options, your stopwatch, your alarm, your heart rate monitors. You can use either Google Fit or LG Pulse. This is common practice of manufacturers giving you options. You can also change the font size. Being that this is such a small screen, if you're somebody with vision that's not so great, you can always change the font sizes from small to large. You have 20 watch faces included, but of course, being that it's Android Wear, you have plenty of options aside from the ones included in the watch. There's a ton of options and third-party apps on the Play Store that will allow you to put different watch faces on your Android Wear smartwatch. You have your power button here. When you press it, the screen goes dim and goes into standby mode. Pressing it again, it unlocks it, and your smartwatch is ready to be used. Features that are also seen on the Moto 360 is your notifications. You can set it to vibrate, priority, or none, theater mode, brightness boost, and your settings. You can find these options on Android Wear smartwatches running Android Lollipop 5.0 and above. There's not much different between this and the Moto 360. It's your basic Android Wear experience, mainly engineered to notify you on your wrist, so we don't have to constantly pull our phones out our pockets. Pretty much that's the reason smartwatches are for. And it does just that, and it's great at it, so no complaints over here. Battery life was much better than the Moto 360, but I still had to charge it every night. For some it's a big deal, but I see it as you take your traditional watch off every night and place it on your nightstand anyway, so that extra second it takes to put it on the charger is not something I really care about, and I'm okay with it. But for some, hey, to each his own. Now for the things that I don't like, I do wish the display was a little bigger. The Moto 360 has a bigger screen, but most importantly, I wish it had a speakerphone. That's actually something I used quite often, especially when I was driving. I also wish it had NFC, so we can pay for stuff through Google Wallet. Looking at the competition, it seems that Apple is ahead of the curve with that technology, because the Apple Watch, you can pay with Apple Pay at registers. But Samsung is coming out with their own watch later this year that's going to support Samsung Pay. And when that happens, Samsung will then be ahead of the curve, because Samsung Pay works anywhere, not just certain locations like the Apple Watch. And that's something I'll be discussing in another video. This is arguably the most stylish smartwatch on the market, being neck and neck with the Moto 360 in terms of style and class. Although I've gotten more compliments with the LG Watch Urbane. The LG Watch Urbane is a great watch, but I won't be abandoning my Moto 360. I'll be rocking them both, different styles for different occasions. I hope this helps somebody make a decision when it comes to buying their first smartwatch. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share with a friend or two. If you want to see more content, hit the subscribe button below, and be sure to check out my last video up top. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.